Good morning, girls. In this video lecture, I will teach you of studies composed by Francis Bacon. In my previous video, I have told you about Francis Bacon, and we have also talked about the content of this essay, what Bacon wants to state in this particular essay. In yesterday's video, we saw that. In this video, we will see a line by line analysis of this essay. It's a very beautiful essay. Every single line has a lot, there is a lot of meaning in every single line, and you will learn from this essay. I hope so. So, let us begin. This essay was composed in 1625. Studies serve for delight, for ornament, and for ability. People study for three reasons. There are three purposes of studying. Some people read for delight, as I told you, like we read stories, novel, jokes, incidents for delight. Some people read for ornament, like if someone is an anchor, he studies so that he can furnish or ornament or decorate his language, so he can get better matter. That's why he studies. And for ability, to make ourselves eligible, efficient, we study. The chief use for delight is in privateness and retiring. When people retire, they spend their time in studying good books. And when you are alone, you are in solitude, you read. So, when you read something in solitude, it's delightful for you. For ornament is in discourse. When you are in a conversation, when you talk with someone, and when you are communicating with someone, when you are anchoring, study help you in decorating your language. And for ability is in the judgment and disposition of business. When people run business, only learned men can do that. So we know that people earn higher degrees to run their business, and in some areas educational qualifications are mandatory to run a business. For expert men can execute and perhaps judge of particulars one by one, but the general counsels and the plots and marshalling of affairs come best from those that are learned men. So, learning is so important because for expert men can execute. In our executive assembly, we just have expert men, and study makes you expert. So if you are expert, you can execute plans and perhaps judge of particulars. You can judge people, you can give better judgment if you are learned one by one. But the general counsels, and you can counsel someone in a better way if you are learned. And the plots and marshalling of affairs, every affairs plot and plans are planned by learned people, come best. So all these things are done only by those that are learned. That's why learning is important. If you are a learned man, you can do various things. To spend too much time in studies is sloth. Spending excess of everything is bad, and spending too much time in studying makes you lazy. To use them too much for ornament, and if you decorate your language so much, people will feel boring. So it will be superficial, and it will be added, it will be affectation, it will be a show off. To make judgment wholly by their rules, and we can't judge only by studying something only on the basic of rules. We have to see humanity also, we have to look at the emotions also. So this will also can ruin the judgment. If someone judges only on the basis of learning or books, this that will become humorous for that scholar. He has to use his brain also according to the present situation. The perfect nature. Study makes perfect the nature of a man and are perfected by experience, and with experience people become perfect. For natural abilities are like natural plants, because every man or woman has natural abilities, and these natural abilities are like natural plants. They grow automatic, that need pruning by study, and study trims you, study furnish you, study makes you complete, and studies themselves do give forth directions too much at last. So why do we study? So that we can guide ourselves. So studies gives us directions, except they be bounded in by experience, but we should also have experience so that we can do things better. Crafty men condemned studies. Very beautifully written. Bacon wants to say that clever people criticize study. Simple men admire them, but simple men appreciate study, and wise men use them, and witty men, wise men, intellectual person utilize their study in their real life. For they teach not their own use, but that is a wisdom without them and above them. For they teach not their own use, but they use it in the welfare of people. Born by observation, by observing others, they guide themselves. Read not to contradict and confute. In very brief, Bacon is saying that one should not read, one should not become learned, one should not learn something, one should not study in order to argue or contradict or confute. We should not dispute with someone. So this is the wrong use of study which we should avoid. No to believe and take for granted. Study should not be taken for granted. Not to find talk and discourse. We should not study so that we can talk and converse. We can have conversation with someone, but to weigh and consider. But if we have studied, we should think about better things. We should consider on the situations. Now, Bacon says that we should be choosy in our books, and how can we choose them? He says that some books are to be tested. There are books, and we should select them according to our purpose. We should only taste some books, we should read them superficially only. Others to be swallowed, but other books we should read thoroughly, and some few to be chewed and digested. We should get the central idea by heart of some books. That is, some books are to be read only in parts. We should, first of all, we should know their importance, and we should know their importance in our life. So if it is less important, we should read it in parts. If it is more important, we should read it thoroughly, and if it is most important, we should read and get its learning by heart. And some few to be read wholly. We should read it totally and with diligence and attention. We should read that with attention. We should not left anything unread. Some books also may be read by deputy and extracts made of them by others. We can read books, we can read the commentaries on original books, but that would be only in the less important argument. If the book is not so important, we can read its commentary. And the meaner sort of books, else distilled books are common, like distilled water. Such books are like distilled waters. We can get their central idea or theme in their commentaries. These are the fleshy things. Reading makes a full man. Reading makes a man perfect. Conference a ready man. If you are talkative, you will be ready man. You will answer everything quickly. And writing an exact man. If you read and write that also, it will make you exact man. It will make you perfect. And therefore, if a man write little, he had need have a great memory. Writing needs a memory. You have to recall, then you write. So if a man write little, he had need have a great memory. You need a good memory to write something. If he confer little, he had need a present wit. If you reply quickly, you should have a present wit. And if you read little, he had need have much cunning. And if you read little, you have to be clever enough to seem to know that he does not. So there are particular subjects which left different impacts on their readers. Like if someone read history, histories make men wise, because reading what people did, we avoid the wrongdoings and we adopt the right things. So histories make us wise. Poets witty. Poetry makes us witty, and the mathematics makes us subtle. Natural philosophy makes us deep. We think deeply, and moral makes us grave and serious. Logic and rhetoric able to contain. Reading logic and rhetoric, we become able to contain. Studies pass into the influence manners. Nay, there is no stone or impediment in the wit, but may be wrought out by fit studies. We can cure ourselves or our disease by studying, like as disease of the body may have appropriate exercises, like that we can also cure our bodily disease by studying books. Like bowling is good for the stone and reins, shooting for lungs and breast, gentle walking for the stomach, riding for the head, and the like. So if a man wit be wandering, let him study. If someone's wit is wandering, we should let him study the mathematics, because reading mathematics, you have to concentrate your mind, and your mind will be focused at a point. For in demonstrations, if it wit be called away never so little, he must begin again. If his wit be not apt to distinguish or find differences, if someone is unable to distinguish or make difference between things, let him study the schoolman. He will be able to differentiate between things, for they are simny sectors. Here Bacon has used a word for the schoolman, chimney sectors, like splitters of hairs. They are divided into two things. If he be not able to beat over matters, if someone is unable to beat an argument or to overcome an argument, and to call up one thing to prove and illustrate another, let him study the lawyer's case, because lawyers know better how to argue, how to make the things in your side. So every defeat of the mind may have a special receipt. So Bacon wants to say that by studying you can cure every defeat or deformity of your mind, and it can have a special receipt. Thanks for watching.